Hello everybody and welcome back to episode numero 2 of our food simulation water career mode with Portsmouth FC. Two things to say. First of all, I'm a bit ill. You can maybe hear that. My voice is a bit weird, so hopefully I'm fit for the next few days. Otherwise there might not be videos and I might sound a bit weird today. These are basically the two things I wanted to say. Alright, we finished episode 1 with 58 points after 26 games, 7 points in front of second already, 15 points in front of third, and 16 points in front of fourth place, and of course the top 3 are definitely getting us promoted. So we are basically already through, 20 games to go. Of course a lot can happen, but we can basically say we will finish in the top 2. Our goal is of course to win the league, so we want to defend the first position. In this episode, of course, episode 2 means the second half of season 1. We're gonna finish season 1. Of course, we're starting off with the transfer window. We didn't really had any kind of money to make any kind of signings, so the only thing I was looking at were pre-contact signings as well as trying to sell one player. There was one player on our transfer list, no player on our loan list, so only one player we want to get out. And because we had no money, we were basically only looking for pre-contact signings, but in the end, the players I was able to afford were all not even close to being interesting. The players that were interesting were not even close to being affordable because of the wages, and therefore we basically were able to offer like 6-7k for the players in the pre-contact, and the interesting players always were at 15, 20, 25, and the players who were at like 5, 6 all were mainly free agents and really bad players. So what I can tell you is we have not signed anybody, and we maybe did sell somebody. You will see in a few seconds if we were able, and if not, why not, and if yes, then you will see for what money. And yeah, but of course we want to first start with the games we have this month. Here you can see we had a game against Hartlepool, we had a home game against Southampton in the FA Cup, Carlisle and Notts County. Here you can see the one player on our transfer list. It is Drew Talbot. Very low rated right back. We got quite early an offer from Crimson Town and therefore just accepted it. And then of course we go into the games. First of all against Hartlepool. Well, we start off with a loss. Of course, if you remember last episode we finished with I think 12 or 13 games unbeaten. The last game we simulated in the last episode was a 12. Before that we had 11 or 12 wins, which is why we are first place by such a distance. We're 15 points more than third, and yeah, now we start off with a loss, so we cannot keep up with this one. Next up we had the home game against Southampton in FA Cup. Of course nobody expected anything, past luck with 2 goals, but unfortunately it's still not enough, but this dude just keeps going, man. After these 2 losses we also have some good news. We have Hornstrom, our backup left back, finally back from injury. He was injured for I think 4 months. We did sell Talbot, worth a little bit of money, but again we were not able to sign anybody interesting. And we got even a bit of prize money, and you will see a bug. Remember the date, the 8th of January, we got prize money for the FA Cup. Next up we had a game against Carlisle away. Another loss, and at that point I was really confused. I mean, the loss again in the FA Cup, nobody cares, but we lost twice in the league now. We were only 7 points in front of second. My bench rating was really bad. The only thing that kind of saves me right now at the moment was us being first place. Now I was a bit scared. Here you can see the bug on the 18th this time, 10 days later, we got again prize money for the FA Cup. Does make sense. Notts County, can we finally get a good result? Yes, we finally did win, and it is of course, who else? Past luck. And yeah guys, this is it already with the transfer window. Nothing really happened. Some big deals, BVB selling 2 players, Patricio gone to Milan, but nothing too amazing, nothing that is interesting for us. We have sold a very unimportant player that has played 0 games for just some peanuts and didn't sign anybody, so it was very quiet this month, this transfer window. And therefore we go straight away into February. We had a game against Wycombe, Blackpool, Leyton Orient, Morecambe and Mansfield. If you quickly look at the bottom right, you can see the league table. Besides our bad form, we are still 5 points in front of second. Wycombe right now 3rd place, so it was a big game. Of course, we still wanted a win. Well, another loss. I don't know what's going on, but we are in some bad form, guys. And if we continue like this, we will be not getting first place. Next up, Blackpool at home. This has to be a win, and it was close, but it was a win. And now the start of some interesting things. He'd asked me, Connor Chaplin asked me for more money. I did offer him a new contract. Soon afterwards he came back, says he is not sure if he wants to accept it. He is not sure if he wants to stay here, if he wants to continue playing football in this team. And I thought, okay, this always happens. He asks for a new contract or more wages a player, then suddenly he says he's not sure, then he says he probably wants to go, then he says he's not sure if he wants to go, and then he stays actually. It's always the same thing, so I wasn't too scared at that point. I really thought he probably will come back and say, to be honest, I think I want to stay, and then again a few days later, I will stay. So I wasn't too scared, but I still don't get it. Like, a player's asking me for a new contract, he's asking for a new contract. Tells me what he wants, I give him exactly what he wants and he still rejects it. Does not make sense in my opinion. The next game on our list is at home against Leiden. Orient should be an easy win, and as you can see, boom, Chaplin scores Bennett with 2 goals, easy 3-0 win, easy 3 points. The second last game in this month was away against Morecambe, again not the best team, and boom, second choice team manages to win. And at that point we were able to see, okay, the bad form has ended. We started off with a few losses, but now we had I think 2, 3, 4 wins in a row again, so everything seemed quite chill again. Why do I tell you that? Because boom, we lose against Mansfield. I don't know, I'm not sure, man. We are really inconsistent in today's episode so far. And just a few days later, some more bad news. Training injury, Connor Chaplin, he was injured for 4 months just after the big transfer window ended. Came back, and now he's injured for the second time already in this season. In the next month we had games against Doncaster, Cambridge United, Grimsby Town, Colchester, Crawley Town and Eurotown. In my opinion, we should be able to get at least like 4 wins in a tour or 5 wins. And if you do so, then we are definitely probably through as first. So this month was important, good results, and we have probably done it, and we should be able to get good results. But before we go into the first game, Connor Chaplin says he is not sure anymore if he wants to leave. So again, just what I told you, then they suddenly come and say they are not sure. So I thought, okay, they will stay. Doncaster, we were able to see 4th place at that point, so probably the best team we have to play against in this month. And we got an easy 2-0 win with 2 goals just before time. Paslak scoring a penalty and Doyle makes it 2. We continue with a good one in the next game. Paslak, who played as left back for some reason, scored, and then Baker Low 3-0 win against Cambridge United. Let's jump straight into the next game. Paslak once again with a goal, then Low the subbed-in player, again the same 2 players, 2 goals. Manning though with an injury, and as you will see, unfortunately, he was injured for a long time. His injury is, I think it's quite a funny name, like lateral, collateral. Like what the fuck, and then I don't even want to try to pronounce the third word, I have nothing idea, but lateral, collateral, that sounds funny. But he was basically out for the rest of the season. But on the other side, Chaplin came back from his second injury, and he was fit straight away for the away game against Colchester, and as you can see, boom, we scored in the first minute, did win, and Chaplin got injured. He just came back from a second injury a few days ago, plays against Colchester, gets injured, but as you can see, I was looking around, there was no message of anything. So even if it was this car thing, I can't even remember the name right now, but even if he said he has a big injury, he basically was completely fit, so I'm still not sure what happened there, but at least he was not injured for a 3rd time. Crawley Town away, and as you can see, boom, a 2-2 is a good result. It's an away game after all these wins. 1-2 is fine. Especially as you can see, boom, we straight away start with the wins again. 2-1 win in the last game of the month against Eurotown. Bennett with 2 goals. Bennett in some crazy good form in this episode. We go into the next month and get this message that Felix Paslak is injured for 9 days. And you would say 9 days, who cares? But the thing is, if you look at the games, we start off with Plymouth and Exeter, who were 2nd and 3rd at the point we start off this month, and he will miss these 2 games. So he will miss only 2 games, but 2 big games. The other games this month all should be easy wins. But these 2 first games will be very important, because if you look at the league table, you can see 2nd and 3rd. Of course, we are 2nd place at least, but we are 7 points in front of 2nd. We want to defend 1st place, and now we have 2 games. And if we lose against Plymouth, only 4 points. Against Exeter, we might only draw, and then Plymouth is close. With 2 wins, we have done it. So 2 big games. Starting off with the game against Plymouth, of course, Paslak not able to play, but Chaplin was fit. And it was a quite boring 0-2, 1 yellow card, and that is all that happened. But a 0-2 against 2nd is good for us, because that just means we still have 7 points. The most difficult game was not a loss, and of course, the 1 game less. And against Exeter, where again I would have accepted a tour, especially after the tour we just got. But boom, it was Chaplin who scored after getting in, and Baker who scored. We did win. At that point, it was basically sure that if there's no sensation, we will finish first. Baker though, after his goal with an injury, and you will see, of course, another big injury, but at least it wasn't too important, because he will basically miss only 1 month, and then 3 months where there is nothing basically happening, so it's not the worst it's a good timing basic for a 4-month injury. But yeah, after we finished these 2 games with 4 points, I thought, okay, we should not lose any kind of points now against these bad teams. Starting off, only scoring in the 90th minute, but who really cares? A win is a win against Luton Town. Barnard away, that's probably one of the easiest teams to play against. But only a draw. Paslak and Chaplin with the goals. Only a draw, but it's fine enough, I guess. Because especially if you look at the league table, at that point, 44 games played, 2 games to go, 6 points to get, 10 points in front of second. We have now officially done it, ladies and gentlemen. Even though we finished this 44th match day with a draw, we have done it and did win the league. And therefore, we also had 94 points. So if we would win the last 2 games, we would finish with 100 points. And as you can see, we did win against Newport County. Manny came back from injury, but was not fit already for the last match day. Against Stevenage at home, first choice team, this has to be in, and it was an easy one. Bennett with another 3 goals, he is some crazy form again this episode. Nations with 1, and this is a 4-0 win. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, 46 games played, and we finish with 100 points. That's funny, that's cool. I would have been a bit angry if we would have finished with like 98 or 99 or something. 100 points, ladies and gentlemen, we have exactly hit the 100 points. We got some prize money, which is actually quite good, I would say, for the 4th League of England. It's not too bad. Also got the 2nd Manager of the Month award in this season. Only 2, a bit disappointing, but okay. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Wilson, after last episode, should we sign up, leave him in here, or release him? You said we should sign him up, and remember some of his stats. For example, remember he had a ball control of 89, alright? We were interested, his potential wasn't great, but he had some decent overall, and he had some amazing stats, like ball control 89. And if you look at his stats now, his ball control is only 80. I still don't understand what happened there. And also he had only 1-star weak foot, and because he had no potential, some bad stats, even though it looked better, so I still don't understand what happened there. And 1-star weak foot, which is a no-go for a center mid, okay. I decided the only thing that really makes sense if you would just try to loan him out as soon as possible. Maybe he will grow in this new club. But except of this, I don't really see any kind of use for him. I don't see how he could help our squad, to be honest. So I think he's only a player we'll loan out. Maybe he will grow enough, otherwise I will just sell him for money. That's all I really will do with him. Alright guys, before we end this season, first of all, Chaplin came back. And this was a big surprise. He said he wants to leave and wants to go on the transfer list. So I was the whole time sure he would just say, I will stay. But he actually wants to leave. And this is one of the things I will have to ask you after we finish this episode. First of all, we had 5 players with expiring contracts. Nobody too important. But our squad on the one side is very thin. Therefore, we don't have a lot of money. So I think it would just make more sense if they stay. And we then could just sell them. Also, nobody asked for like a huge improvement. And it didn't cost us any money. So I think financially and because of the squad management, because we have a thin squad, it just made sense to offer them all new contracts, and as you can see, they all straight away accepted. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we can end the season. Of course, we're starting with a look at the league table. If you care about any of the bottom teams, just stop the video and look at them. But if you look at us, of course, we have finished this 46 games with 31 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses, 83 goals, 32 goals conceded, goal difference of 51, 100 points. Plymouth by far the second best team. There are a lot of teams that are around the same level, like 3rd to 4th, 6th, 7th place, whatever. But there were 2 teams. Plymouth definitely the second best team. Second most wins, 4 more than third most, basically 3rd place in this list. Also, they got actually the least losses. The only statistic where we are not the best, and Plymouth is actually the best. They have the second best most goals and the second best defense, and by far the second best goal difference with 7 more than 3rd place in this list. And by far the second most points. They were second place for sure. But we were definitely first place. 31 wins, 10 more than 3rd place in this list, 6 more than second. We had the second league loss again because of the start of this episode where we had, I think, the first 4 league games were 3 losses or so. We unfortunately did not get this, but by far the most goals, 83, 50 more than second place in this list. And by far the least goals conceded with 10 less than second, and our goal difference is basically twice as good. So we finished with 100 points, 10 more than second, 6 more wins than second, 50 more goals, 10 less goals conceded, and therefore of course a goal difference of 25 better. We we didn't start off too well, really not too well in the first 6-7 games, and we had a bad one the start of this episode, so both episodes started off with a bad one, but in total we dominated this league and quite easily got promoted. If you have a quick look at the cups, you can see Man United did win the FA Cup against Tottenham, and we also have Chelsea winning the FA Cup against Middlesbrough, and Oxford United winning the Checker Trade Trophy. As always, in the end of an episode, we have a squad report. First of all, again, run through, you can see the statistics, the amount of goals, whatever, and then you can see in the second one through the growth. The most interesting things here, of course, Felix Baslak, 39 games, scored 17 goals, got 2 assists. 17 goals. Also in FA Cup, 1 game against Southampton, and he scored twice. So in 40 games, he scored 19 goals and got 2 assists. That is an amazing set for a right back too. He is by far our best goal scorer as a right back. Also, we have some other things like Gary Roberts, 6 goals, 8 assists, not too bad. 11 goals for Naismith. Bennett again, because especially of today's episode, with 14 goals actually in the end. I think our second best goal scorer. I think 8 or 9 of these, or maybe even 10, he scored today. I think he got twice he scored 2, and once he scored 3 today. So he really managed to improve that. Chaplin quite disappointing, 5 goals and 4 assists. Even this backup was a lot better with 10 goals and 6 assists. Yeah, and core-wise, of course, the most interesting things, Villa, Paslak, the one center back, Burgess, I think his name. No, it was Clark actually. With some big growth, started to train them until they all have like a 80 to 75, 78 or 80s in their stats. I'm training them. I really trained them, so the only player I really still want to improve is Chaplin, who I was not able to train because he was injured twice. For basically in total 5 months more or less. He was out, so I wasn't only able to train him like half of the time. He's the only player I still want to train, but he might want to leave. So I really need new signings to train, because right now I don't really know what to train. But about signings and transfers we will talk in the end of this episode. First of all, I did get the Manager of the Season. Only twice I got the Manager of the Month, but somehow I still got the Manager of the Season. I think either me or, of course, the Plymouth manager, one of us two deserved it, and in the end it was me. We are ending this season. They are not 100% happy, because in the end I basically missed all the goals or didn't do anything except of finishing first. I didn't do the financial goals, I did nothing except of 1 domestic goal. We had 2, I think once in the FA Cup I didn't do, and 1 in the league I did. So basically out of 7-8 goals in total, I did 1 and missed all the other ones. Therefore my manager rating is not too great. Alright, now a quick look at the next season's budget. 4 million in the transfer budget, basically 1 million in the wage budget. So we have right now around 5 million. Of course, it will get probably a bit more, because yeah, preseason tournament, and there's nobody really wants that. But if Chaplin leaves, of course we have money. And why, you will see now the shortlist, my current shortlist in the background, and you can maybe see players, some stats and some other things, the value. Maybe one of them is interesting. If so, then just tell me. But I want to now quickly just say a few things. First of all, I want to say thank you for watching this episode again. Hope you enjoy this kind of series, and this is basically how a season would go. Of course, again, if you get to like the Premier League Championship or whatever, then I might split it into 3 episodes a season. I would definitely do that as soon as we get into like Champions League, EuroLeague football. But I think the video is currently in good length, good thing. I think that's very nice. I think I said that quite often. But now the last thing I want to talk about is, because of the next episode, of course, you have around a week to tell me, especially we start off with transfer windows. So you can tell me who to use, who to sell, who to sign, who to loan out, whatever, who to scout. But especially I want to not just tell you, you know the squad. I think at some point I will show you the squad again in the background. But you basically know the squad, you have just seen the statistics and the growth. If you want to just know exactly how good the player was, then you just have to look for this 1 minute and you see everything you need to know. The one thing I want to tell you is, we have these 5 millions. Let's say Chaplin will not leave us, and let's say we can get around 2 million through the preseason tournament. So I think in total we will have maybe like 7 million, 7.5 maybe. The signings I want to do, I will definitely sign a new first choice left back. I will definitely sign a new first choice CDM. These are the 2 signings that I will 100% do. I will not do anything before I definitely can sign a first choice left back or first choice CDM, or yeah, like both. Or if like there's a free agent that doesn't cost us any money, I might still do it. But Really, the most important things for me are first choice left back, first choice CDM. We don't need a right back, we don't need a goalie, we don't need a center back, we don't really need a striker. If Trevor leaves, of course, we need a backup, a replacement. We don't really need a winger. So CDM and left back, the most important things. Manning will then be our backup, and the other dude, the old dude, I probably will just sell, or he's probably retiring soon. In the left back position, the current first choice left back I would use as backup, and the current backup I would sell. Hansop is just for 52 rating, just too bad. So left back, I would spend 2.5, maybe even up to 3 million, but around 2.5 is what I look at for a first choice left back. Looking at that mid 60 to high 62, maybe even 70 rating, good potential. And the same for the CDM, where again would spend 2.5 to 3 million. So these are the two most important things. If we then still have money, I mainly look at maybe replacing Conor Chaplin if he leaves. Otherwise, I probably especially look for a left winger. Because our current left winger is good, but not amazing, and our current backup is actually just a striker. So if you have done these two, a winger, especially a left winger that is right-footed, would be interesting. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, then it would be cool if you could smash the like button. That would help me out quite a lot. Of course, you have 1 week to tell me who to sign, who to sell, and all that kind of stuff. In 1 week, next weekend, there is gonna be episode 3, and therefore the start of season 2 in the League 1. So we probably will just try to not have anything to do with relegation zone and get a mid-table place. I don't think we fight for the playoffs, but maybe we can actually fight for playoffs. But I think currently my goal would be mid-table place, nothing to do with the relegation zone at all. Yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow with a Citadella, in 2 days with Aalborg, in a week with PORTSMOUTH episode 3. Have an amazing day guys, bye.